Well, good afternoon. What a pleasure it is for me to be here in Kerala. For those of us who live in Delhi, Kerala is always a breath of fresh air, literally. Speaking of renewable energy and the impact on environment, my typical morning walks in Nehru Park in New Delhi do not benefit from the fresh air that I experience every time I come here. So I love coming to Kerala for the fresh air, but also for the incredible natural beauty and the terrific people. So thank you to the government of Kerala, and in particular, Secretary Jyoti Lalji, for the warm invitation to be part of this conference here today. It's my pleasure to be on the dais today with esteemed colleagues from around the world to share our learnings and move towards a more sustainable energy future. I'm going to spend my time with you today sharing what is likely a lesser known energy transition story and how that might be applied to India and in particular, the beautiful state of Kerala. Based on what I've seen here today, I think will be some commonalities most certainly. So for those who may not be familiar, Saskatchewan is a province or state located in the western prairies of Canada. India has a population of 1.4 billion, and Saskatchewan has a population of 1.4 million. So only 14 lakh residents, but we definitely punch above our weight class, so to speak. The Saskatchewan government is proactively engaged globally with 9 international offices, and the Saskatchewan India Office opened in 2021 and is based in New Delhi at the High Commission of Canada, where my team and I are responsible for all sectors of trade, investment promotion, and diplomatic relations. So let's talk a little bit more about Saskatchewan to set context and paint an accurate picture of the Saskatchewan story and its long-standing and quite special relationship with India. Saskatchewan is home to 40% of Canada's cultivated farmland and is the world's largest exporter of lentils, peas, canola, and durum wheat. The average farm in India is approximately 3 acres. The average farm in Saskatchewan is 700 acres, but that number is steadily increasing as farm operations are becoming much larger to maintain competitiveness in a global environment. It's not at all uncommon to see farms in Saskatchewan well over 10,000 acres. Saskatchewan is consistently the biggest supplier of lentils to India. Year over year, and in 2024, Saskatchewan exported 1.5 million tons of lentils and peas to India. So the dal that we all enjoy actually comes from Saskatchewan in large part. Fun fact for your morning. Saskatchewan is also home to forested land the size of the entire country of Germany, and exports wood pulp to India, which are steadily increasing year over year, currently sitting at a market value of over 270 crore for 2024. Saskatchewan is also an incredibly resource-rich jurisdiction, supplying the world with essential minerals. Saskatchewan is ranked number 1 for mining attractiveness in Canada and number 3 globally. Saskatchewan possesses 27 of 34 critical minerals. Saskatchewan has the world's largest potash deposits, and typically 1 million tons of potash from Saskatchewan come to India every year to support Indian agriculture. And Saskatchewan has the world's largest high-grade uranium deposits. Saskatchewan is also a deeply productive energy jurisdiction. It is Canada's 2nd largest crude oil producer and 6th largest onshore oil producer in all of North America. It is the 3rd largest natural gas producing province in Canada. It is the world's 2nd largest uranium producer and the largest high-grade uranium producer. It is the first and only jurisdiction in North America to produce rare earth metals on a commercial scale, and it is Canada's leading helium producer. Sorry, this remote is a little bit delayed. So some of you might be wondering, what do traditional energy, agriculture, and mining have to do with renewable energy? And why are we talking about an obscure Canadian province? Well, it's because of innovation. So decades of being a world leader in agriculture, mining, and energy have created the conditions for innovation, focused on our pre-existing strengths. Saskatchewan has world-class institutes focused specifically on new and renewable energies, stemming from the expertise gained in traditional industries and capitalizing on the natural resource, geology, and topography of our province. So where is Saskatchewan innovating, and how does that relate to renewables, and in particular, hydrogen? Saskatchewan is aggressively pursuing the future of sustainable energy, and that's driven by innovation with extensive research capabilities across the entire sector. Saskatchewan is already a world leader in implementing CCUS technologies. Saskatchewan already produces renewable energy through wind, solar, and hydro as part of its electrical supply mix to about 25%. And Saskatchewan's energy transition goals include reaching net zero GHG emissions by 2050, similar to what we heard this morning. Saskatchewan's energy transition includes a variety of technologies such as nuclear energy, CCUS, and then renewables, such as hydrogen, solar, wind, geothermal, biogas, and biofuels. Commitments are in place to produce up to 50% of Saskatchewan's electrical generation from renewable energy sources within the next 5 years. And the government of Saskatchewan, who I represent here in India, supports this transition through having a client-focused government, creating a competitive business environment, developing stable relations, facilitating discussions between industry, research organizations, and academia, and we've heard about some of that, the importance of that partnership earlier today, and then incentivizing innovation through grants, tax incentives, and profitable offtake agreements. So let's discuss some of the new and renewable energy Saskatchewan is incorporating into its energy mix. As mentioned earlier, Saskatchewan is the world's largest producer of high-grade uranium, but Saskatchewan is also deeply involved in movement towards nuclear power. So Saskatchewan is actively pursuing SMRs for grid-scale power generation, but the exciting thing is that there is groundbreaking microreactor research partnership activity happening in Saskatchewan. The Avinci microreactor is a global first. It's a partnership between the Saskatchewan Research Council, Cameco, and Westinghouse, and it will be a game changer for stable energy delivery to rural and remote areas where traditional energy supply is neither effective nor sustainable. And we believe this could be incredibly important for the last mile in India, in particular in rural and remote environments. Saskatchewan is a global leader in CCUS, as mentioned, boasting the world's first coal-fired energy to CO2 capture plant in Boundary Dam, known as Aquastore. We have some factors for success here, which is favorable geology. We have deep saline deposits where we can store that CO2. We have an advanced research and development ecosystem, and it's deeply supported by government policy and incentives. Specifics on this particular project: it is the largest active geological field laboratory in the world for CO2 storage. And again, we're talking about a very small population that again is punching above its weight class. This particular project is managed by the Petroleum Technology Research Center and began injecting CO2 from the Sask Power Boundary Dam in 2015. And to date, 7 megatons of CO2 have been captured, and over 600,000 tons of CO2 have been stored underground in deep saline storage. The Boundary Dam and Aquastore project provides companies with new measuring, monitoring, and verification technologies the opportunity to prove their technologies in a real industrial scale CO2 storage location. And this is only possible through significant government incentives to stimulate innovation. So Saskatchewan's renewable energy mix includes multiple technological applications. As it comes to wind, Saskatchewan has the highest wind power energy potential in Canada, currently producing 617 megawatts with major expansion plans underway. On geothermal, we're on track to produce 200 megawatts of geothermal power generation within the next 2 years. On solar, we're expanding our existing solar, and there's a current 200 megawatt solar installation in progress as we speak. And then on biofuels and biogas, which comes from the abundance of agricultural waste that we have in our province. Saskatchewan is on track to produce 2 million barrels of sustainable aviation fuel per year within the next 2 years, and will reach a capacity of 6 million barrels per year of production within the next 10 years. Saskatchewan also has a unique proprietary biopellet production produced from flax waste, which can be used as replacement for coal and other fire energy generation. So let's talk a bit about hydrogen, which is the star of today's discussion. Hydrogen is emerging as a promising industry into Saskatchewan. Clean blue and natural hydrogen is actively being explored with innovative technologies. But I'd like to highlight one Saskatchewan company that is actively making waves in hydrogen generation, in particular here in the state of Kerala. Axiom Group is a Saskatchewan-based company making major investments in India, particularly in the space of hydrogen production. Axiom bridges their experience across the 3 Saskatchewan sectors of mining, agriculture, and energy, which have been developed in that fertile innovation space, and they bring a unique integrator approach to hydrogen generation in India. Axiom is working directly with ANERT, the government of Kerala, for the Hydrogen Valley Innovation Cluster project, with support of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Axium is providing technologies for hydrogen production from ethanol, PEM electrolyzer, storage of hydrogen through metal hydride, and fuel cell integration. My good friends from Axium Group's India division, Mr. G.V. Shankar and Sudarshan Suryawanshi, they're here today, and you'll hear more from them tomorrow in their panel sessions. But Axium, a Saskatchewan company from the other side of the planet, is able to engage as part of the Hydrogen Valley Innovation Cluster here in Kerala, specifically because of the fertile Saskatchewan energy innovation space that they're coming from, as well as the multi-sectoral and state federal government incentivization that exists here in Kerala. Much in thanks to Secretary Jyotirlalji. So what are the lessons learned on energy transition from the Saskatchewan story, the Axium India story, and how does that relate to creating commercial scale hydrogen generation in other jurisdictions? Well, to start with, leverage strengths. Saskatchewan is building off of its existing strengths to find the right mix of renewables for its needs and innovating on that basis for other jurisdictions as well. Governments at federal, state, and municipal levels must be engaged. We need to build multiple deep and strategic industry partnerships, and that's some of what we're here for today. It's critical that we invest heavily in R&D, and it's critical that we collaborate widely. It's important, and this is an important government function, is to create stable and transparent regulatory and royalty environments. And it's essential that we incentivize those early adopters. So to recap and close, with the function of government in the success of energy innovation, the following are key advantages provided by the government of Saskatchewan that other jurisdictions may benefit from considering. A commitment from government to growing Saskatchewan's economy and developing more opportunities through the Saskatchewan Investment Attraction Strategy is core, and most governments are working on a similar approach. Saskatchewan provides a competitive business environment that includes low tax and utility rates and stable regulations. This is where government can play a major role in making the business environment attractive. Saskatchewan provides incentives that support growth across energy transition areas, which are key to stimulating growth in new energy sectors. And finally, Saskatchewan government-funded research and innovation activities enable Saskatchewan's energy transition through organizations like the Petroleum Technology Research Centre, the Saskatchewan Research Council, and Saskatchewan's robust world-class universities. And from what we're witnessing here today, it's evident that the state of Kerala is embracing a similar approach. So my congratulations to the government of Kerala and the government of India on being pace setters out at the front on the way towards a meaningful energy transition through green hydrogen generation and other renewable energy technologies. As we like to say in Saskatchewan, we have the food, the fuel, and the fertilizer that the world needs. If anyone is interested in learning more about the Saskatchewan story, please do feel free to speak to me over the next 2 days. My deep thanks to Secretary Jyotirlalji for inviting me to be part of this conference, and I look forward to hearing more from other speakers on this important topic. Thank you very much.